Hi there. Today I would like to talk about a big subject, and especially for anyone that is facing or has received a serious medical diagnosis. This is something that can create a huge amount of fear and suffering, not necessarily because of the condition itself, but because of what we're told and what we believe about what it means to receive a serious diagnosis such as cancer, MS, kidney disease, something like that. And of course, I'm not saying that you shouldn't get a diagnosis. It's really important to know what's going on. Knowledge is power, and understanding the medical name and the symptoms that you're experiencing from that perspective can give you really important insights into what's going on, and then the many choices that you can have to support your healing. But if you're in the process of getting or have already received a diagnosis, then I really want this information to empower you so that you see it as useful to know about it rather than something that's a terrifying shock, because the shock itself of the diagnosis can have all sorts of implications for your health and your healing journey. So, from a meta-consciousness perspective, one of the real dangers of the psychological shock that often comes with being diagnosed is that you'll have fear, dread, a sense of losing control, and that is then an additional shock that can kick off really a range of biological responses in your body that may be even more disruptive than the original symptoms that you've been diagnosed for themselves. So, just a bit about meta-consciousness. It recognizes that diseases aren't random errors or malfunctions in the body. They are intelligent biological adaptations to unresolved conflict, traumatic events, stuck emotion, life situations that the body couldn't process at the time, and that have basically set in place that your body is either adapting to survive or adapting to heal after that. So, there's a number of reasons and a number of ways that the diagnosis itself can be a very powerful trigger for additional things happening. So, first you have the shock of an unexpected diagnosis itself. Hearing that you have a serious condition can be deeply overwhelming and scary, and that shock can kick off an additional adaptation, a new biological program. Some examples of that could be fear of death, can affect your lungs, self-devaluation, self-worth conflicts can impact on the bones and muscles or connective tissue, causing various symptoms there. And these things, which from the medical model can look like the progression of an illness, can actually be the body responding to these additional new shocks from the trauma of the diagnosis itself. Then you've got fear, the fear which can actually, of the symptoms themselves, which can actually keep you looping And what that means is that fear takes hold, and everything about your symptoms becomes something else to panic or worry about. So leading to, hypochondriac monitoring of all of your symptoms, Googling worst case scenarios, being sort of in the mindset for disaster. And of course that's constantly stressful, and it's just going to amplify whatever's already going on in your body, or keep it in a process of coming and going. And it's not just the original issue that you've got going on there. There's also the symptoms themselves actually become their own triggers, because, for example, the muscle weakening of a self-devaluation conflict actually becomes it's trigger for further self-devaluation. Oh, I'm getting weaker, I'm never going to be as good as I was, that kind of thing. And so then also then you're thinking about the treatment. So well-intentioned though it may be, conventional medical interventions can also cause trauma, with things like side effects, invasive procedures, powerlessness that you feel around it. All of that can activate new conflicts, and this can even happen just by thinking about it. So it's such a a big conditioned story about the treatments that many people carry. So the fear of what's coming, what's actually coming your way, that can start setting off conflicts. It can change your identity. There can be, once someone starts seeing themselves as ill or broken, then it can change everything for them. Again, we're looking at self-devaluation here, lack of confidence, the fear of and the potential actual loss of autonomy, needing to be looked after, belief that I'm a sick person. This can create, deep self-worth conflicts. Again, potentially hitting the musculoskeletal system, the blood or the lymph, as you feel out of flow of life, and also an inability to heal. And and the body responds to that, with additional symptoms or intensification of symptoms. Isolation. People can feel like they're all alone, in emotional isolation. Often friends and family either don't know what to say, or they caringly are giving you opinions, but again, that can be overwhelming. You may not want that. You might want to be alone. You might not feel safe expressing how you feel, and this sense of you might feel separation conflicts, or you might even feel isolation sort of conflicts. And this isolation can lead to fluid retention conflict, and and that can even halt any healing processes going on completely. Okay, so so from meta consciousness perspective, this having a diagnosis, it's a major event to look at for anybody, and potentially a very traumatic one. And what that means is that we need to address that. And yeah, if instead of this broken narrative, when you begin to see symptoms as meaningful, as part of your body's intelligent adaptive responses, then you can stop being a victim of them, and starting to get curious and understanding what's been going on, what's unresolved that your body's still holding on to. And so it's important to have this diagnosis because when you look at it through the lens of meta-consciousness, it's offering you a map to connect your life experience with what's going on biologically for you, so that you can resolve what your body's trying to actually complete the healing processes. So if you're waiting for a diagnosis, or if you've already received one, then there are some things that you can do. So it's really important to just connect to how you can support your nervous system, acknowledge and accept the fear that you're feeling or felt, and then start to regulate breathing techniques or a range of regulation techniques that you can use to really connect back into your body again. You can use things like EFT, tapping, which is that's really effective for gently releasing the states of fear, the overcharged sort of overwhelm that you might feel, and starting to bring in a sense of safety. You can even, with these techniques, you can even shift your beliefs about the diagnosis and what it means, so that it's not something that's gone wrong, but it's showing you this intelligent biological response from your body, which you can then understand and work with. So, you're not powerless in these situations. You can create safety in your system, seeing the diagnosis for what it is, information, even with all the uncertainty of what's going on. And it is often the first step towards healing, and it's normally one of the first things that I look at with people is understanding what the diagnosis is actually showing, what their body's trying to show them, and releasing that fear about the diagnosis. So you realise that this is just information. It's not you can then help you to listen to your body and support it in completing the story. So this supporting people before or after the impact of a major health diagnosis is it's a really key part of the work that I do. And I've been able to support a lot of people successfully to release the fear, and then have that opportunity to go from that point more into their own healing process. So if you are, or if someone you know is going through something like this, then if you want some help with it, then please reach out, because I'm definitely here for you for this. So that's it from me. Hope that was useful. Bye for now.